Hey, it's B-Rad Celebrity Hairstylist here, your host of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast. Thank you for joining on today's show. We're currently at over 52,000 downloads, thanks to you, and on over 40 plus podcast platforms, including Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify. Today's guest is a mother, inventor, serial entrepreneur, and a freelance writer for multiple publications where she shares her knowledge of the lash and skin care world. Her studies at a 16-year career were originally in dentistry. Dentistry, what?
Yeah.
That's amazing. We're going to talk about that, where she obtained her Bachelor of Science degree in Dental Hygiene and Biology, then a 4-year clinical career, and finally, she sold medical devices for oil. Not oil, but well, who knows? Maybe one day she's a serial entrepreneur for oil and maxillofacial surgery until her launch of Endure Beauty. So let's welcome today's guest, Nikki Huebner.
Hey,
welcome, Nikki.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For having me. So I really appreciate the time for sure. So
we want to say welcome to the show, and please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about your background.
So long story short, yes, I went to UNC Chapel Hill, started out at NC State. Let me back up. And thought I wanted to be a medical device engineer, and quickly realized that math was I wasn't as good at math as I thought I was. and so I ended up transferring after my sophomore year to UNC Chapel Hill, and actually went into the dental program for dental hygiene as well as biology. And so I always had this love for science, this interest, this curiosity in anything science related. And so dentistry was knocking on my door. So I ended up going into hygiene, thinking I was going to actually become a dentist after that. And then after about a year clinical, I realized that maybe I don't want to be in people's mouths all day. And so, it's so interesting because I'm almost 45 now, and my oldest son is a sophomore in high school, and people keep saying, "What college are you going to? What do you want to do when you grow up?" And he always says, "Well, wherever I can play basketball," And I'm like, "Good answer, honey, because your mom is almost 45 and she still doesn't know what she wants to do when she grows up." So it's actually good. So but I feel like everything in life happens for a reason, and that really that science degree and that knowledge and that training really helped to carve the path, I believe, now for what I'm doing with Endurelash and Endure Beauty. So I do think everything happens for a reason. So
exactly. And it does give you that solid foundation. Because as I say, so many people I've talked to on the podcast, they've had background in medical, in nursing, in dentistry, and, so having all that, even myself the same. So what was the turning point when you wanted to be in the beauty industry? Because that's like a 180 from being in the dental field.
So it honestly happened by chance. And I really, truly mean that. I started wearing lash extensions, and this was, when was this? Probably around 2011, 2012. Working mother, just really felt like I had no time to get ready. It's like the fire drill. I think I say that all the time with getting the kids out the door and off to school and everybody, but I still had to look presentable. So I had a friend mention, "Why don't you try lash extensions?" She's immediately addicted. Then I was immediately addicted. But as I started wearing them, I kept asking my lash artist, what do I do to maintain these? Like, do I get them wet? Is there a certain wash I need to use? Like, how do I maintain these? I knew from my, medicine history, dental history, that I had to keep it hygienic, right? Because right near mucous membranes, right near my eyeballs, I knew about all kinds of different gruesome infections that could happen. And I did not want those. And so the lash artist at the time really did not have an answer for me. She was just like, just take some, eye makeup remover and just use your fingers and swirl around on your eyelids. And I was like, wait, no, there's no way that's going to, So I really just wanted some type of fabric, like some type of cloth or something that, like a washcloth, that I actually remove my makeup and sweep the oils and the bacteria off of my eyelids and really through the lashes themselves without snagging or pulling and stripping the lashes. And I ended up meeting with a friend who was in textiles, actually works for Ralph Lauren now, and he's in New York City. And I said, I really want to do this. I know it sounds crazy and you have no idea what I'm talking about, but please tell me what textiles could work. And so I started researching and sourcing and landed on this organic bamboo weave that I really liked. And I liked it because it wasn't going to shed into the lashes. It wasn't going to snag or pull at the lashes. It's made from organic bamboo, so it had natural antimicrobial properties. And I literally just had this square of fabric. I mean, it was not sewn. I just got samples of it and I was just trying all these different things. I landed on this and I was like, oh, this is it. But I had no intention of bringing it to market, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted this for myself. So I also wanted something to help me dry the lashes through hot yoga or the beach or whatever without a terry cloth towel, again, snagging or pulling. So I did the same thing, found this specific organic bamboo terry that I could actually blot dry the lashes after showering, swimming, whatnot. And again, not snagging. So I had at the time, I did not know this, but I had my Endurelash cloths, aftercare cloths. So backing up though, I do believe that the true tug as to why all of this was laying out the way it was, it is really because of the fact that my husband and I were very close to a charity that was local here in North Carolina. Well, it's global in the sense of the Ronald McDonald House Charities, but there was a project that was specific here in Raleigh, North Carolina, where I am, where they called them the Family Room Projects. And Wake Med Hospital was one of the hospitals that wanted to house one of these family rooms. And I had lost a daughter 2 years prior to wearing lash extensions in 2010. And it was, my life was flipped upside down at the time. You really don't know what to do other than in hopes of, well, at least for me, I just had hopes of really trying to give back in any way, shape, or form that I could. And obviously to help. Oh, sorry. I get the lump in my throat every time.
It's okay.
Effort
I don't think there's a time limit on on some things in life.
Water, sorry. So really in an effort to comfort the families that are there next to a sick or dying child, and you don't want to leave the hospital, you don't want to leave the bedside, but you've been there for weeks, for months even, really. And you just need a place to rest your eyes or wash your clothes or pray or have a snack or whatnot. It is the most amazing concept of a charity that really is an extension of the Ronald McDonald House Charities, which is a phenomenal charity within itself too. And for whatever reason, I felt just so drawn to that, right? Back in 2010. And so as I was moving forward, and then, like I said before, I had these Endurelash aftercare cloths that I did not know I had at the time. My lash artist kept, my infills for lashes kept getting quicker and quicker. And she kept saying, what are you doing differently? Please share the secret sauce. Like, I'm not cleaning makeup out, blah, 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 this and that. And I brought in my little prototypes and I said, this is what I wash with and this is what I dry with. And I throw them in the dark laundry every 2 to 3 days and I reuse them. And she was like, why are you not doing anything with that? And I said, well, I don't know. I just wanted it for myself. And I researched online and I just could not find any products. They weren't even really offering many aftercare products for lashes back in 2011. You know what I mean? And so And so I knew nothing about the industry, but again, something just kept tugging at me after she said that to say, Nikki, do this. Like, this could be a side hustle, and you can donate the money to, the family room
Mm-hmm.
project, and so there it all happened. John and I had already back in 2010, through just outreach, had raised about $200,000 to open that Wake Med family room in Raleigh. So, but I wanted this whole big vision of like, we have to have all these rooms, but then people do a couple years later, start forgetting that, you did go through a tragedy and you are doing
Yes.
something good. And then the pocketbook gets tighter and tighter, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of feel bad asking for money or doing another 5K or whatever. But anyway, so I took that and I sat down with a friend of mine, Grace, and she was good on the computer. We pulled up some Shopify platforms and had some wine and I had better prototypes sewn at this
Yes.
time, and really designed at this time with the hot pink and all the little details about the brand, the hot pink brand recognition, Endurelash, Endure Beauty, to what I've endured in life. I really put a lot of thought into it. I know I'm making it seem like, oh, it's these little prototypes. No, I really at that point sat down and put my head in the sand and thought about all the little details, of how we were going to make it work. And so then, started building a website and knocking on doors in studios. And believe it or not, I was getting hits, from Instagram mainly, and local Raleigh, people just wanting to support the cause. I know, and really putting my heart on my sleeve and telling a story to whatever press outlets were coming at me, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, that was in, when was that? That was in August of 2016. And, I really started telling myself I was going to bring it to life, spring of 2016. But like I said, I put my head in the sand. And then by the next April of 2017, I was quitting my day job as a medical device rep in head and neck and oral and maxillofacial surgery. And I was officially launching Endurelash May 10th, Kyla's birthday, another big number and big significance of the brand, May 10th of 2017. I didn't know what I was doing. I did not, I still sometimes don't know what I'm doing. So like I said, every day is a learning curve, and every day, is a new experience. But I thrive on that. I figured out that I do think I thrive on that. I'm not gonna lie. But I put it out, and it got great recognition in a very fast-paced way. Almost to the point where I was like, what have I done? I can't keep up. But then as I really started getting kind of a flow, I started thinking of other ideas and other innovations that I wanted to add to the lash world, to make it more of a luxury service, to really upgrade the service, to make more revenue for the lash artist. Because they do cap out, right? Because you can only see so many humans in a day, right? So I started developing the under eye gel therapy pads. And then luckily from my previous career, I had access to all of these phenomenal medical device chemists and formulary chemists. And so I had easy access to them and great relationships with them. So met with them and would give them my crazy ideas and have to look at me like I had 3 eyeballs, but we would always make it work. And so that's when we started importing into Canada soon after that through Montreal. And really things started going, really global too. We had some business in the UK, and we still have a distributor in Denmark. We had a little bit of a touch of business in Perth, Australia. And so, and really just everywhere across the nation. And so then Endure Beauty was quickly born, after the aftercare, really for that upgrade of the service. Like I was saying, the toners instead of the nebulizers, and the under eye gel therapy pads for an upgrade for, dark circles or whatnot while you're getting your lashes done. And then obviously our staple, our cloths, our Endurelash cloths with lash wash, right? So, yeah, I think I'm going off on a tangent maybe, but
it's okay. We can dive back into a little of that. You're kind of getting ahead of my questions there, but it's good. I know when you're
I don't know what this is on the screen. How do I make this go away? Can I make this go away?
What's on your screen?
It's like it says the meeting is being hosted. It's like I'm scared if I do this, it's gonna, oh wait, maybe if I do that. Okay, I can see you better that way.
Oh, okay. So it was just, it was covering.
It's just telling me you're recording. So, okay, stop me. You go ahead.
Yeah, but it's great because it shows that you have a passion, but not just a passion, but a passion with purpose. And that is really what drives you, I believe. Yes. So it's not a matter of, because a lot of people will take what happens in life and they'll say, yeah, poor me, or this happened. I'm not going to, if I go forward, people are going to look at me and say things or whatever. But I think when you're passionate, like you said, you're a serial entrepreneur, but sometimes you have to do that because you're going to make a difference for someone. And basically with the cloth, you were doing something for someone. First yourself, but because you needed it, you didn't know how many other people needed it.
Yeah, it's true.
The same, because with my background, I've been doing probably lashes almost 20 years. I've studied lashes, so it's been it's been a long time. But with the cloth, so you also expanded then. So you had your cloth. You looked into other avenues and stuff like that. So tell me about like Endurelash, the brand, and how you created the brand.
Ooh. Okay. So, so again, starting with aftercare, we really came in filling that void in aftercare. Like I said, in 2011 and 2012, you did not hear anything about aftercare. Now it's all you see on like Instagram and stuff.
Yes.
Like aftercare, you got to wash your lashes and all this stuff. And really my message of the importance of aftercare came from, like I said, how it carved the path, my previous career, where I knew that these are our eyeballs, these are mucous membranes, we can spread infection through our eyeballs. Like all these things that I knew from my career before, that I really pushed into the lash industry, because I did literally look at you guys as like eye surgeons, because I was heading chairside in oral and maxillofacial surgery, right? Where we're all gloved up, we're suited up, all this PPE on, we're working in people's mouths, head and neck, jaws, same thing. And I'm thinking these artists really need to be taking a lot of the same, health and safety precautions as our physicians do, because of all the things that can be literally transferred from the mucous membranes and, of the eyeballs too. And so, that's when my approach to aftercare, I started making them perk up to say, you guys need to treat this like surgery. Like you are going in and you have these sharp tools and these are our eyeballs and you're using these harsh chemicals, you know what I mean? Like, and really change that whole philosophy from a safety, efficacy, and aftercare approach, right? So that's what really started leading me into the Endurelash Pro side, where we started then implementing, because it's funny, because I bit my tongue, I swallowed my words. I said in the beginning, I'm not going to deal with any of the lash designs. I'm not going to go into that stuff. I'm not going to go into the pro. And then after Endure Beauty, the skincare, and really working with a lot more artists chairside, like I used to do with surgeons, right? And I thought to myself, man, but I don't like the curl or the color on those lashes. You know what I mean? Like, and I started going into that. And so that's really how like Endurelash Aftercare, Endurelash Pro started to blossom. And the training aspects, because I had sat in and audited several of, online trainings, and which they weren't as big then, but still any time I could be at a trade show or something, listening in to how lashes were being taught, and all the myths that were out there were driving me nuts, right? Just like no glycerin and things like that. I was just like, where is the science coming from? I was losing my mind. But, but then I was also so new into the industry, and I'm trying to change the game a little bit. And I'm not an artist. I'm just a science degree consumer. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're like, who is this girl thinking she's going to come in and tell us that we can't do this and this and that, or all that's, not true. And so I was like, man, I can't make everybody mad, So I really just started supporting everything I was saying with science, right?
Yes.
And so that's what started catching the artist's attention to say, man, wait a minute. Okay, she is bringing a different approach to the Endurelash, this lash brand, this pro world. I might listen to her and see what she has to say.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's kind of how it is. I'm not an aggressive personality at all. I definitely am personable and listen to them as well. So I didn't want to come in abrupt and just know it all, because I definitely don't know it all. So that's really it took time. I mean, we're coming up on, we are at 5 years, and it did not happen overnight, and it's still happening. Yeah. Like I'm still having to.
And sometimes, say it sounds like sometimes you just jump in, and that's the way it is. Like when you left the, medical sales, and you're like, okay, I don't have this anymore. Yes, I have people wanting my product, but there's no guarantees.
Nope.
Because sometimes it's a flash, people get it right away, and then all of a sudden crickets. And then there's nothing. But you also help other artists. You also have a lash academy as well.
Yeah.
How can someone be certified in Endurelash?
Oh my goodness. So we have, we launched the academies in February of 2020. March, the world shut down, right?
Yes.
So we managed, and we're still managing. We had started launching, we had several dates on the calendar for 2020. It was all mapped out. I took all the artists to Austin, Texas for a retreat. We sat there for 3 days and really made sure our message was solid and together. We had already written our manuals and everything. We were just it was just a great time with these artists. And we had 2 fly in from Canada, actually. I mean, we were just from all over, right? And so when the world shut down, I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness, along with the rest of everybody else. What we had to do is really for liability issues, because we had never been through a pandemic, COVID. A different beast. I met with my business attorneys first, and I said, look, they're doing this like 6 feet apart thing, and this like no more than 10 people in our room. What if I have 25 artists and then there's a model, and so we've got 50 people in a room? They're like, Nikki, don't do it. There's a gray area of, we don't even know how to write the waivers at this point. You know what I mean? Don't know enough about the virus, and you just can't take that business liability. So just, you're going to have to pivot. So luckily I'm good at pivoting. So I really I erased all of that calendar, and we started doing more of private trainings. And so we're still in that model. We just opened up some larger group classes, and then we're going to go back to the larger group structure next year in 2023. But we're actually making that calendar now. But the private trainings have been great, because, we can have 1 to 3 artists in a room, and then models, and we're 6, and we're still, and, now that the world's really coming back to somewhat normal, I guess, then, everything's starting to pick back up in a great way. So that was how we did it. We just kept going through with private trainings, which was usually about 1.5 days of instruction. We really customize it for the student, whether they've done lashes before or never done lashes before. And we've gotten great reviews from really everyone that's taken that. One extra step we take, and this was something that I chose to do, just because of I know how important it is that you're skilled to do lashes, and that it does not happen after you've done one set of lashes. Like it takes months and months of perfection, right? And so that brain memory, that muscle memory, and so we don't certify them. They do not get a certification after 2 days or whatever with us. Another thing that we do different is we bring in live models after the first 3 hours of the didactic portion, because y'all, lash artists are hands-on. I'm hands-on too. I don't want them on a mannequin. They can be on a mannequin to learn how to isolate or something like that, but it's still so different. It does not
Yes.
feel the same. And so, we get them in on a live model day one, and they love that. I've learned just from several reviews and comments that we ask at the end of the class, they say that is the best part, because they do understand what it feels like, to be live on someone. But then we also offer 90 days of virtual mentorship, right? Because we'll have, for example, we had 2 girls flying from Missouri to Raleigh about a month ago. And so obviously we can't mentor them in person, right? So we offer a virtual where they have to pass 5 full sets of whether it be volume or whatever course before they get certified. And so I was so happy. I just certified one girl last night, and she was thrilled. And so, the artist will copy me on the work. So you have to either like email it or Skype or whatever. And then I chime the artist in, and then the artist will say, yay, nay, correct, let's make a correction here or whatnot. Right. And so then they let me know when they think that student is ready to spread her wings and do it. And so, no, I don't know of any other company that does that either, which I go above and beyond.
Yeah, that's a much better way to go, because so many people, like you say, they go for a couple hours, they get their certification, they send them off, and then they buy the kit, and then they're just say practicing on paying clients, and then that's when stuff happens. Especially working around the eyes. You went from the mouth to the eyes. So, so when you're working around their eyes, there's so many things that can get in the eyes, infect the eyes, if you do it correctly, things like that. Next, I don't know if I'm kind of spilling the tea, but I think I'm not. But so you created an amazing new technology that is taking the lash world by storm. Can you tell us more? Is that still a secret?
No. It's not a secret. We will officially be rolling it out in 2023. We ran into some inflation and some, we had to change a retention ingredient at the very last minute. So we had the show in Vegas in July, and we had tabletop clinics, and 2 full days of classroom settings, and so a lot of artists actually got to use the technology. And then next thing you know, I hear that this one main retention component has literally like quadrupled its price, and so I was like, I cannot sell $350+ glue.
Yes,
nobody is going to buy it, no matter what. And so we had to pivot. So I go back to my chemists are out of Penn State, and their primary focus is adhesives, medical device adhesives all over the world, really. Yes. And so they're a massive company that I used to work with on the bone regeneration side, because I sold like collagen and cadaver bone, bovine bone, all kinds of stuff. And so I go to them and I'm like, guys, look, like we can't use this one component anymore. And so we're all just like scratching our heads, because it took us about 2 years, right?
Yes.
To get to that point. And this has not been an easy feat. And so next thing you know, we just landed on what we think is it. We're still doing some more retention studies right now. I'm actually I've had people Instagram messaging me like, is the glue out yet? Is the glue out yet? Or they'll see our current glue and say, but this says acrylates. And I'm like, it's not, it's not ready yet.
No.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. And so, so we did find, this one chemical that we are going to use either as a primer, or we're going to mix the concentrations together of the polymer. Good news is this coming? I promise.
Yay!
And I know, but I'll see you in April, right? I think I'll see you.
Yeah, the show in April, right before the cruise. Yeah. Yes,
that's right. And then I do want to do the cruise in the fall. I think you said there's another one in the fall, right?
So ours is May, so it's right after. It's about 10 days after the April show.
Okay, I'll see you in April for sure.
Yeah.
And so we will have it there, and which is awesome. And so it's coming, and it is going to change the game, because even myself, I'm in such denial, but I'm starting to develop a little bit of sensitivity. the more and more I do my lashes, and it's just eating me alive. So I emailed the chemist. I was like, okay, we have to like go at lightning speed because I can't go without my lashes, and
No.
so we are. It's just that this company is, not that we're small peas or anything, but they are, they do have priority with like these huge medical device distributors, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, Nikki, it's either like open heart surgery, we can do that, or we can give you guys lashes. And I'm like, lashes. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, so that's what it is. But yeah, so it's good. It's coming, and we have so many exciting things. I just partnered with a couple ladies at Missouri, and I can't tell you too much about that, but it is coming.
So we'll have an upcoming one week when we can spill the tea. We'll have a second. We probably need a third. I'm only partially through the questions. We have about 7 minutes left. But
okay, yeah, we should our own show.
Endura Beauty is your organic care line. One thing I saw on your website is that you have an organic lash wash. I haven't really seen that before. Can you tell us about the products in Endura Beauty organic line? I love that organic, and you also have probiotic.
Yes, probiotic.
Yes.
Yeah, so everything I did with the skincare, not to be selfish, I really developed it for myself. I have very sensitive skin. I have lupus as well, so I really can be super aggravated which is autoimmune, super aggravated to any type of harsh chemicals. I mean, I'll do like the spot treating with, the retinols and stuff, or like a zit cream or something, but I really can't use anything,
like an all over. Yeah. You're sensitive to washes and
absolutely.
Yeah, you're same as me. Yeah.
Yeah. And so also though, with my whole background and really doing a lot more research for like, Skin Inc. magazine, I freelance write for them and stuff, my philosophy on it is really that like less is more in a lot of ways. Skincare, you don't want to continue to strip your skin's barrier over and over and over again. It can't heal, right? And so, a lot of people with acne, for example, they just think they have to dry and dry and dry and dry, and really they're causing so much inflammation and making it so much worse, which is why they get the red and the flaky, and all the irritation. So I decided to just research, just pure raw berry and seed extracts, pineapple, eucalyptus, cucumber, all the main ones that you hear about all the time, but really do a twist on it where we do add in the probiotic technology, which is pretty popular now, but it does exactly what it does in your gut, topically on your skin, right?
Yes.
It harbors and destroys the bad bacteria and then keeps the goodness of the bacteria there to keep your skin balanced. So I started the same thing. I would develop something with the chemist and then try it for a couple weeks. And I'd say, I like this or I don't like this. I think it needs more of this or whatever. Also lots of hyaluronic acid, which everybody knows that now, So it's very simple. It's simple, clean formulations. We pour here in Greensboro, North Carolina in an FDA approved lab, which you don't get that very often either, right? Especially in cosmetics. And so, we do take those extra steps to be able to say the things we do, as far as organic and leaping bunny and all that stuff. So,
yeah, that's actually what I was going to ask you next. What is leaping bunny?
So that means that we do not test on animals. So
Yay!
It means both of those. So you don't, and I could not even imagine my little French bulldog, who I don't know where she is right now, but she's usually in my lap trying to bark or get in front of the screen. It's hilarious. But anyway, she's probably into something. But yes, I'm an animal lover too, so we wanted to make sure we followed through on all that certification.
And I think that's more what people are looking for as well. But it doesn't stop there. There's even more. When stating that you're a serial entrepreneur, you have a fulfillment company.
Yes.
Can you tell us quickly more about that?
Yes,
I think we need a 10-episode series.
I know. So let's do it. So, so honestly, it was a company in Creedmoor, North Carolina, which is about 20 minutes from where I am. And they were actually doing fulfillment for Endurelash and Endura Beauty. And I had just moved into that fulfillment center in early 2018 and had left a previous fulfillment center because the guy sold it to the hospital or something like that. So the space. So anyway, so that was like August. Well, then January of 2019, they say, Nikki, we are shutting the doors after 16 years. And I was like,
wow.
what? I was like, no, no, I just got the distributors that we were going in, the retail brand was going into Macy's. And I was just like, no, I can't, you know what I mean? You can't do this. So my husband and I came together and said, okay, we're gonna maybe figure this out. Because I was either gonna take 5 girls that were fulfilling my brand and go find a warehouse space, or I was gonna dive into this business I really knew nothing about. And so I did. So guess what I did?
Seems to be your thing.
Exactly.
Just jump in and whatever happens.
Oh my God. I know, it's just like hold your nose, close your eyes, and just jump, you know? And so anyway, so I did, and quickly figured out that the business was closing because it was flipped upside down. And so we had to put a little bit more money in than we anticipated, but I think my hair turned gray at that point too. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was like overnight. I was like, whoa, I've got some serious natural highlights right now. But yeah, so I figured it out again. I had to really put my head in the sand again and learn X, Y, and Z, you know, figure out from an operational standpoint, why are they running negative profits or whatever, you know? And so, and then, I unfortunately had to let some of the seasoned people that I inherited from the top. I had to, that was the hard part, let them go when you're in small town Creedmoor, you know, I'm like, okay, you grew up here, but I'm so sorry, I have to do that. That was like the worst part. I did not do that. But I had to, you know? And so actually, my Lash Artist husband his name's Robert. He's now my GM. He's phenomenal. He's a rock star, and found him through that. And so then another basketball friend, Mom, Betsy, she's my CFO. She was giving me all the micro numbers and data that I needed to then study that and flip it. And so 2.5 years later, we've turned it around and everything's good. And I feel blessed. We have a phenomenal team.
Oh, and amazing.
You know, I know. And what comes along with that is actually I do a lot of inspection work and glass inspection work for brands like Tom Ford and Estee Lauder and L'Oreal and all these other big major like beauty brands. We have a lot of you know, beauty type things under the roof, but we also have like potting soil too. I'm not gonna lie. So it's like a variation of different brands. And so I love that because I'm friends and, you know, and that all these other brand owners such as myself trust me and Endure Productive to handle that tailing manufacturing for them. It feels good. And I think they like that I'm a brand owner as well, because I understand those hiccups and that you know, that passion for what you're putting out there. And I really treat every brand under the roof as if it were my own.
That sounds amazing. So with such a busy schedule, can you tell our audience what you have coming up and the shows you'll be at in 2023?
Yes, definitely. So we know we're going to be at the Salon Show in Pennsylvania in April. We do plan to return to Vegas in the summer whenever they announce those dates. And we're also, I really like the indie beauty show. We might have some presence at Cosmoprof. We're going to be doing a lot of shows in 2023. We'll put it up on the website and announce it on social, where you can find us on Instagram at Endurelash or at Endure Beauty. And we'll just stay tuned. We've got so much coming, from the technology to dabbling in another area of beauty. Really, it's going to be an exciting 2023, and thank you so much for this time. So.
I mean, and as I say, there's so many things going on, but one thing that I'm doing, which we'll probably have you on in the future, so we'd like to invite everybody to join us on the Mayan Soul Beauty Industry Cruise, May 7th to 12th, 2023. You can learn and have fun with A-list celebrity beauty industry professionals on Sir Richard Branson's super yacht. Yes, it's a yacht, not a ship, but a yacht. Scarlet Lady. Tickets are available now at www.beautyindustrycruises.com, and I'll see you guys there. So if our viewers want to find out more about you on social media, where's the best places and what are your social media handles?
Yeah, so at Endurelash for Instagram, or at Endure Beauty. And then the website, we're always updating the homepage as well, which is endurebeauty.com or endurelash.com, and they will link to each other. So amazing.
So you've dropped so many nuggets on this episode already, but as we wrap, what's a nugget of gold that you would like to leave our audience?
Oh man, honestly, it really is just keep going. That nobody has it figured out. That I have failed multiple times over and over again in both personal and professional life. But you've got to heal and get back up. So
Exactly. And that's amazing wisdom, because I love your jump in and figure out how to swim later philosophy.
that's
Where
it.
so many people, I'm going to wait for the right timing. I'm going to wait
Yeah.
for sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just have
No,
to say, if the opportunity's there, I'll jump
yep,
on it. Or if it's not there, I'll make it.
absolutely.
Happen.
That's true. Sink or swim, right?
So thank you so much, Nikki, for joining us, and we'll see everyone next time.
All righty. Thank you so much.